Yo, what's up guys? Before we get into the video, I just want to draw your attention to something. Some of you may be aware or may not be aware, but there is a speedrunning competition going around at the moment. This is being held on a weekly basis by a person, a well-known member of the community called 47. So it's not just speedrunning competitions as well, it's going to be ghost mode tournaments on top of that. And there is going to be prize money for these competitions, and it's going to be happening every week. So the next one's going to be starting from the 8th of September, which is starting from yesterday. So if you do want to get involved in this competition, there'll be a link in the description of 47's speedrun community Discord in the link in the description. Join that Discord server to get involved in these competitions. It's going to be for PS4, Xbox and PC, so all platforms are included in this. And it's a really cool competition and community to get involved with because, you know, it's €100 guys, and plus the main goal is just to have fun and bring everyone together really, so hopefully you guys join it. And with that, without further ado, let's get into the video. So I get asked this question quite a lot within the either the comments or on my Discord channel or on Twitter. And they always ask, how do I scope out new missions? How do I know what to do from the start? And I always go from, I had time to think about this, and I went through a process in my head of how I do these things. So I'm going to explain what my thought process is, and then I'll go into the missions themselves. I'm going to highlight two of the special assignments that we got given in the last update, last map update that was. And we'll go through those two special assignments, and I'll go through the whole process of it, because really those two missions are on opposite ends of the difficulty spectrum, so I really wanted to highlight them two in particular. So whenever I get into a new mission or a new elusive target or whatever, first of all, first things first, you don't know anything about the targets, you don't know where they are, so the first thing, the most important thing is find out where the target is and what the best disguise is to use in that certain area. So if he's say for example he's in Paris and he's in the basement, you go into the basement, you realise it's a trespassing area, so you can't use your suit down there unless you're obviously sneaky about it. So the best disguise would be probably a security guard's outfit or something like that. So this will make it a lot more easier for you to get the target. Now the second most important thing would probably be to find out if he's ever alone, or you can get him alone. Now if he's being followed by a guard or whatnot, that's obviously going to be a problem. If he's just wandering around or going around public areas, that's another issue. And is there a way for us to manipulate him or get him into an area where he can get him by himself? That's the second thing that I would look for. The third thing would be, is there any potential for any accident kill opportunities? So I'm looking around for chandeliers, I'm looking around for propane tanks, I'm looking around for opportunities to push him over a ledge, or for opportunities to drop something on him, or just something of this magnitude, or setting him on fire, or electrocuting him. Any of these sort of opportunities. So is he walking over any puddles? Is he walking underneath any chandeliers? Is he leaning over any ledges? Just these sort of things I'll be looking out for around an environment. These are most things. So when you make a kill, these are the most important things you want to be looking out for. Accident kills is going to be your best friend. If you can get them by themselves, a poison kill would be ideal as well. Like if he's drinking anything or he's eating anything, then obviously you want to be poisoning his food with the appropriate disguise. The fourth thing would be, what are the dangers? What are the dangers that are surrounding this this target? Is he going to have any cameras around him? Are there going to be many guards around him? Are there going to be regular NPCs hanging around him that's going to see you potentially take him out? These are the things that you need to take in consideration as well, and find out how you can get around this situation. Obviously be taking out the cameras and planning a route through that way. Fifth thing would be to find out the ideal places to remove guards or NPCs, and preferably places with crates. So if you are going to remove guards or NPCs out of the area where the guard or the target is going to be, you have to make sure there is places to hide these bodies, otherwise you are going to get them found later on, potentially, and you could lose your silent assassin. So this list is obviously assuming that you are actually going for silent assassin, and that's what I'm trying to go through here. And the sixth thing would be, if timing is a concern, try and get yourself as much time as you need by removing guards. So some situations you don't have to remove the guards, or you could just basically plant a gun and then get rid of them out of the area. But if you are not a sort of person where you want as much time as you possibly can. If you want as much time as you possibly can, then make sure you remove all the problems that will cause you to be rushing this target. And if he's going to be in an area for a certain period of time, then obviously you want to remove all the dangers leading up to this. And the seventh thing would be finding the fastest and the safest route to the exit. So it depends on where you are, really. But that seventh thing is not really a big deal. So let's get into the mission and let's go through all these steps one by one. And then we'll obviously recap at the end. Okay, I'm switching to live commentary, so the microphone quality might sound a little bit different. It's probably a little bit worse. But yeah, I'm going to start off in Illusions of Grandeur for the first example of this. And obviously I'm going to go in there as if I don't know anything about this target. But yeah, so obviously because I don't know where the target is or anything about the target, I will probably want to be taking the best items that I could think of at the time. So the number one things that you should bring into your missions at all times is probably definitely a syringe or some sort of poison anyway. And if you have it, at least I would bring the Krugermeyer or the Kalmar tranquilizer. They're both obviously very useful items, so they're the items I'm going to go with for this one. Alternatively, if you have the electrocution foam, just go ahead and use that. But obviously we don't know where the target is right now, so we're going to scope that out and find out where he is, and then we'll plan around that, then follow the steps that I mentioned before. It might sound a bit confusing how I went through it all, but it will all make sense once you put it all together.
Welcome to Mumbai, 47.
Okay, so we're spawning over here. Use an instinct, we can find out that he's over there. Okay, so immediately lots of things that are pointing out, things that are sticking out is obviously he's got two guards with him.
Quite at home here.
And if you look around in your instinct around the areas, you can see potential accident kills like the scooters right there, the signs. These are all potential ways of getting him for an accident kill. So we found out where he is. We don't know what disguise is best to get in there yet. Obviously we want to follow his routine and find out where he goes.
I'll volunteer.
So if you're not sure about how to go about taking out these targets, you're better off following them around. This is obviously going to relate to the main targets, but when this does happen in contracts as well. They won't have their own dialogue obviously, but everyone will have their own set script.
It's very red.
So we're obviously following this game's opportunity that it's given to us, and we'll just see where that goes.
You're safe. You're comfortable. Now I want you to follow me. We're just going to go for a stroll around the corner.
The door.
You most certainly do, my friend.
Background is very loud compared to the dialogue, isn't it?
Shall we?
So he wants us to follow him, so we're following him right now. So I'm pretty sure this is a trespassing area, otherwise there wouldn't be a guard standing there, so that would be, you know, a red flag right there. But we're all following him, so now it's no longer a trespassing zone. Now I'm just going into that assumption that we're trespassing, you know, but it doesn't actually say on the minimap. I'm not sure if that was because of the target's leading us there. So immediately things that's standing out right now is he's got one guard following him. And there's multiple areas of different rooms you can go and take out the guard, I should say. Alternatively, right now we could just knock him out and just shoot the target in the head. These are the things that are sticking out for me right now. I didn't mean to bump into him. So the target is leading us into a secluded area right here.
Now that we have a little privacy, how about you empty your pockets for me?
No,
I said empty your pockets.
don't think so.
So immediately we've got a guard standing outside. So these are the potential dangers. We've got a guard standing outside, I've got a guard right in front of me, and we have the target himself. So they're the dangers that are around that area. And we can't really take out the guards right now because there's not really an opportunity. Unless we go up the stairs and take out one of the guards to leave us the target by himself, that will give us an opportunity to get the target by himself, and then we can probably potentially stick him with a syringe or something like that. That's the things that would stick out for me, mostly.
Don't you follow me up here? What are you waiting for?
You'll know soon enough.
Think my time, just go. I say get lost.
So if we don't leave straight away, we become hostile.
Oh there, buddy. You're trespassing.
And now we're in a trespassing zone.
You're coming with me. Understood?
So is there a save just before that so we can point that out? See, now that we've learned that sequence and we know what happens, we can do something to try and prevent that from happening. No, we don't have a save leading up to that. Crap. Alright, I'll just skip to the part where again I'll restart the mission with the same stuff, and then we'll get to the point where I am right now. So we've started again, and we've made a save just before the meeting actually starts. So we obviously want to distract the guard next, so that's our next thing we're going to do. We want to get rid of the guard out of the area. So we're going to use that opportunity that we figured about earlier. So we're going to go up the stairs and actually try and distract the guard himself. We'll wait for this conversation to finish.
Don't you follow me up here? What are you waiting for? Bloody idiot, you're just wasting my time. Just go. I say get lost.
So as soon as that conversation finishes, we're now trespassing. So that the game's presenting you with an accident kill opportunity right there by him leaning over that ledge. The game wants you to push him off, but there's a guard there. So if we push him off, he's going to hear us push him. So we need to get rid of this guard. So he's the problem here. And we have a crate as well to hide the guards, and this is the perfect opportunity. But for some reason, the game doesn't want to work for me. What about over here? There we go. But unfortunately now the target's leaving. So it's best for us to reload that and try that again. That little section there. Again, things aren't always going to go according to plan. That's always best to just learn from your mistakes, learn about what's happening around you, and then plan ahead. There's no shame in restarting. But this is the stages I have to go through when I try and do these videos as well. But I'm trying to voice the thought process that I'm going through at the same time. So I'm wondering if we can distract him right now. I mean, it was broken over there, but I wonder if we can do it from over here.
Don't think so.
Don't you follow me up here? What are you waiting for?
You'll know soon enough.
Yep.
Bloody idiot, you're just wasting my time. Just go. I say get lost.
So now we have extra time to take out the guard here. So we learned from last time that we can distract him over here, but just not over here. So now I'm hoping I can actually choke him out without him spotting me.
Yes, please stop.
That we encountered a punch glitch, and that's on occasions that can happen. So what we learned from that was that we need to get it further into the corner, or throw a second coin to cause it a second distraction. But we need to do this quickly, otherwise we're going to lose our opportunity in pushing him over that ledge. I mean, alternatively, thinking about it now, actually looking back on it, we could have just syringed the target rather than pushing him off. But the guard is still there, so he's still a problem himself. So we have two opportunities there, really. So we can either take out the guard and hide him in the crate, or we can take out the target with the syringe and then take out the guard. I suppose overall it doesn't really matter.
You'll know soon enough.
Because they both result in the same thing. So we threw it further into the corner there so we can prevent the glitch from happening. There we go. I'm off now.
Hey!
We haven't lost our silent assassin rating, so we're just going to hide this
Target
evidence here.
eliminated. Looks like no one else needs to worry about falling under Basil Carnaby's spell. Take a bow, 47.
We are still in a trespassing area, so I'm debating whether to put this disguise on to help our situation. Yeah, we have no enforcers, so we can actually use this disguise to get out. No problem.
Okay, got it.
So it's that easy, really. I mean, this is one of the easy targets, so it's much more easier to tackle these sort of targets with only one guard. But when they've got multiple guards, it's a different situation, and we'll get to that once we get there. Oh, we have an enforcer here, but I'm going to risk it. So where are the exits? I've got one over here and one over there. So whichever is the shortest, I'm just going to go straight there. We have the ideal disguise anyway. So yeah, first of all, we found out where the target was. We found out we didn't really need a disguise because we followed him into that area. It's going to be unique for alone, which he wasn't. He had one guard with him and one guard guarding outside. There was an accident kill opportunity there by pushing him over that ledge, or we could have just syringed him. Either way. The dangers themselves, we had no cameras to worry about, but we did have the two guards there. We had no other NPCs to see us. So that's them opportunities there. So we had to get rid of that guard. He was the main danger. There was an ideal place to remove the guard, which was upstairs next to that crate. So that's why we created the distraction to get him up there. And timing was a little bit of a concern, but removing that guard as fast as we could and learning how much time we had gave us the best chances of that opportunity right there. And the exit wasn't really a concern there, it's just an added thing that I added there. And we got 0 points, so that's nice. So let's move on to the second one, which is a lot more difficult than this one. It's one of the more difficult missions within the game. And we don't have just one target, we have another objective where we have to retrieve this black book. Now, I'm going to play this as if I've never played this before. And so, if this is your first time playing, you won't know where this target is, and you won't know where this black book is. So you're going in blind, really, and for that reason I'm not going to take any equipment. I'm just going to go straight in there just to find out where everything is, and then we'll plan around what we need and what we don't need. Depending on whether you're going for the suit only or not, obviously I'd recommend you just go for a regular standard silent assassin first before you try anything else out. But that's what I tend to do first, is figure out a regular silent assassin first, and then find out how I could change that in ways I could do it so only. So again, from step one, we need to find out where the target is and where the objective is and what the best disguise is for that area or wherever you're going to be. And find out if he's alone or if he's ever alone. So he's over there, and just from map knowledge I know that area is going to be an area we can get to. But automatically I'm seeing here in my instinct that there's several guards in the area, so that automatically leads me to believe that this area is going to be now a trespassing area. So that's going to be a problem. So we are guys. The trouble is, what disguise can we get and how do we get it? We're going to use these bushes as cover to get in here.
Intel tells us that he's searching
stay
for
in
the
the
cloud
shrubbery.
serpent in the jungle just outside the village.
So there's a guard here and he's isolated, but there is guards up there. So we can get this guy right now and see what kind of a disguise it is. We're gonna have to leave him in the bushes though, being found. Okay, so we're no longer in a trespassing area, but there is still several enforcers around the area. And I don't think it's going to be a much of an opportunity here. But we've now found out where the target is, and what I'll recommend you doing is following the target around to see if there's any opportunities by himself. And I'm not going to go through that stage because from map knowledge I know this target is never by himself, so you have to remove these guards one by one, which is really, really bad. But are there any accident kill opportunities? Not from what I'm seeing. There's the coconuts there, but which you will need an opportunity for that. That's all highlighted because it tells you can get up there. But you're thinking, what are those coconuts there for? We have a statue here as well. If it's a main mission, you can obviously always check your opportunities. Where would they be? Oh, we actually don't have any opportunities. Okay, that's... oh yeah, I remember now. This is a side mission. It doesn't have any opportunities. So there's no actually opportunity to help you here, but it's highlighting these things right here. And they're just snake traps, so we can't use any explosives or anything like that. So I'm looking around for potential opportunities, and I'm seeing like the coconuts there. An apple that can't do anything. Poisons. So that red thing there was obviously indicate there's a black book, but it's obviously surrounded by a lot of guards as well. There's a chef over there making soup, so that is an opportunity for us to potentially do an accident kill, but we don't know if the target actually drinks or eats then from that food there. So just going through the stages again, we found out where the target is. We found a semi-decent disguise. We know that he's never alone, and we can't get him alone unless we take out his guards. There was very, very few opportunities for an accident kill. These are limiting our chances of actually getting him. What are the dangers? Cameras, guards, or NPC? There's loads of guards around us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 2 guards up there. 8, 9. So there's about 10 guards around the area, roughly. So taking them all out isn't really an ideal way of doing it either. So is timing going to be a concern? Probably not, because he just circles around. This is, like I said, this is why I'm showing you both of these targets, because it's the best and the worst of the whole entire system, really. So really the only opportunity I'll probably be exploring, which is what I did, is that chef over there, that food. And I'm wondering why it's being highlighted. There's loads of poisons everywhere. So what I'd probably attempt doing now is getting that chef's disguise. Because this disguise isn't that great, but we are going to take the advantage of it as best as we can. And we need to create some distractions and try and get the chef's disguise. So being concealed behind here is our best opportunity to actually hide this guard over here. So we're just going to throw it here and see what happens.
Yeah, we might have a possible situation. Stay tuned.
Yes.
So we can still hide his body in the shrubs because no one's going to see him because we're concealed. But I want that chef's disguise so we can poison that drink.
Someone dead?
Okay. There, because there is obviously enforcers still, which really does not make a lot of sense. Oh yeah, I've got a gun on my back, that probably explains it. So let's just drop that. Apologies if you can hear my dog in a... So we picked up some poison a little bit earlier, so we're going to poison the stew.
That is Blair Reddington, the cold-hearted poacher that our client wants stopped. Be careful, 47. He's used to hunting deadly animals.
Yes, senor. It's done. Buen provecho.
So he is actually going to try it, so we're going to try and get in here. Are we allowed in here? Yes, we are.
Reddington's little black book retrieved. You made a difference today. Our clients will
I'm just going to get out of here. Because it's a poison kill as well, we know that his body's not going to get found.
Complete. The money is being transferred now, 47. Now find an exit.
Now we just need an exit. This guy, I think he has the key. But do we risk it? It's just not worth it. I'm just going to take the regular exit. So yeah, very, very limiting this kind of target when it comes to the system that I tend to use. Well, it's not really a system, it's more my thought process and what in terms I think is important. You don't necessarily have to do it all by one by one either. About it, but hopefully it does in some way. I hope you understand what I'm trying to relay. But yeah, that's basically it really. We did get Solon Assassin there, so let's just end it there. So yeah, I know that's a long one, but hopefully that makes sense. So let's just recap all the process that I actually go through one by one. So first step would be find out where the target is and find out what the best disguise for that particular area is going to be. 2, find out if he's ever going to be alone, or if you can actually get him alone. 3, are there any accident kill opportunities or poison kill opportunities? 4, what are the dangers, which includes the cameras, guards, or any NPCs that are going to be around the area that could potentially see the crime? 5, what are the ideal places to remove guards or NPCs, or preferably places with crates? So if you're wanting to remove an NPC or a guard, make sure there is a crate or a closet around, or an area where you know people are not going to see the body. 6, is there a concern for timing? So if you need as much time as you want, try and get yourself as much time as you need by removing the guards or anyone that could cause the potential problems for the timing miss opportunities. So if you need more time than usual to take out a target, or if you're not sure and you don't like rushing things, then I advise again to remove anyone out of the area that could cause that problem. Number 7 is just finding the fastest and the safest exit there is. The closest one on the fastest exit doesn't necessarily mean the safest one. If you care about having a safe exit, just go for that one. I recommend just going to the main entrances. So wherever you spawn into the map in your suit, I recommend taking that exit, because that usually is the most safest option to take. And if you already are in a disguise, then great. It'll be even better for you to get there as fast as you can. So hopefully those steps has made sense to you in this long video. But yeah, I appreciate you listening to me throughout this video. Hopefully you've learned something and how I've actually go about these missions, and including escalations and featured contracts and all that kind of stuff. And those are the things that I do to tackle targets in order to make my videos. And none of that video probably made any sense, but hopefully it did to most of you anyway. But I'll try my best to try and explain it. I'm not really good at explaining things sometimes, but hopefully you guys understood how I go through these things. But that's going to do it for this video. Thank you very much for watching this long video. I didn't really intend it to be this long. Feel free to drop a like on this video, subscribe if you are new to the channel, and hit the bell notification to be notified of all future videos and live streams. Big shout out to Argel and the Shafe for becoming the top Psycho Assassin tier members of the channel. I really do appreciate it. To consider support me on Patreon, or even become a member of the channel just like Argel and the Shafe. All you got to do is click the join button below, or click the link in the description for all the details of all the different members tiers, including me giving you a shout out and playing the contract on a video and stuff like that. So yeah, really cool things to get involved with, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Cheers.